Good morning. I think I should start calling these vlogs Backseat Chronicles because me and baby girl always back here. She's asleep. She done for a mid-morning nap. She usually goes to sleep, usually at 9:30, 10. So we're going to visit our client turned friend who literally I think is living my dream. She used to live in the city and then she packed up her family of 7, well 9 if you count the 2 dogs. And they moved to the country. They bought 15 acres and she's starting her food forest and she has animals and everything, and they're about an hour and a half away, so that's who we're going to spend the day with. It's a little bit after 10. So yeah, journey with me. There's Katasia. I think that's it. Yeah, man, she reached long time. I think that's her car right there on the left. I told Faye she was out here, so she probably came and got her. I'm loving it already because I see clothesline. I'm miss hanging my clothes on the line.
Majority of them are symmetry.
So that's Faye. This is whose house we are at today. So we're going to do a tour. That's Auntie Katasia holding my pretty little precious. And I know it's nice and sunny, but that's a lie. So I'm about to put on my sweater. If you look at everybody else, they're suited and booted. And I'm out here trying to be cute. Not happening.
1, 2, 3. The 3 in the front. There's a little one we haven't put down yet. But the other 2, they're there.
And this is your garden area.
Uh-huh. But I think I'm going to turn this into the chicken area.
Okay.
Because it's already fenced off and I can put a dog in here with the chickens. And that way, because we lost our first flock of chickens when we first moved. We had them in here, but we didn't think anything would come out and get them. And one morning we woke up and there were dead chickens all over the place with their heads cut off or just completely disappeared.
What?
So it was like a raccoon or
Jesus Christ.
or a possum. They like to come and just take the head off, or they'll just take them and come. They just disappeared, you know. So we learned our lesson, and we need to like secure this a little bit better, and then we can bring in the chickens with their coops, so that way they have somewhere to go at night, and we can lock them up. But during the day they could kind of roam, or we'll have the gate open and they could come out however they want to. Keep driving so Roxanne can record.
No, they're having all the fun. That's not okay. This is so cool. Say hello. Are you guys gonna plant back here as well? Yeah. Nice.
This is the most open area, so of course I start here.
Was this cleared or did you guys clear it?
It was cleared, it was just open land. That they're where the little crack is.
Don't get stung.
Well, for the most part, and you can see that the honey is just like they're not really active right now because it's cold. So you see them
Hold on, so that little gunk I'm seeing, that's honey?
That's honey, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But this looks like a homemade bee box.
Yeah, no, this is I believe they bought this on either like Amazon or something. And
Okay.
then they put it out here.
It's pretty cool. So here it felt like as far as your eyes could see, there was just land, and more land. They have not even gotten a chance to explore the entire 15 acres, and they've been there almost a year and a half. Now, in the beginning of this clip, he was explaining that there is a creek that separates his property from the neighbor's property. So they're on 15 and the neighbor is on 7, and it was all owned by one person initially. I tell you what, we both, Katasia and I, felt like a kid in a candy store because it was just so amazing.
So yeah, this is all accessible to the goats when
Okay. I see it.
What do they do that they help put it down?
Yeah, so I mean, when you look at right now, everything's dead because of the winter time. But when you see the fullness of it, I mean, you can't get through any of this.
Oh, wow.
So we in the summertime when we put them in there, I mean, it took them about 2 or 3 weeks for them to clean this out.
And they just ate it?
They ate everything.
Wow.
Yeah, they left. See, you can see here, all this right here. It's like, so you see the green right here.
Yeah.
That's them. They came and they ate all this stuff.
Ooh.
So.
So
we
you just
didn't
have to come in and tilt it down.
Yeah.
So you and Faye did all this fence?
No, Faye didn't help me with this.
Okay.
I hired someone to help me do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is still a lot. You guys did a lot of work.
It was a lot. It took 3 days.
Yeah.
It took 3 days. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on trekking with Tracy's channel because we're definitely trekking this path. And there goes the train. It's pretty close. Oh, child. And he says they have not toured the entire 15 acres of their property because it's so heavily wooded. But they did a lot of work because they created this path because this was all trees and shrubs and everything. They've been here like a little over a year. This is pretty cool. So I said they're going to turn it into a food forest. So they're going to grow all kinds of veggies and fruit trees. And they have animals and they're going to get more animals. So maybe in 6 months and then in a year I'll come back and check with them just to see the changes they've made. And I'll update you guys.
They put it there so they can have an idea. It's just like a jug. But the train company, we asked them to come when the explosion happened. We wanted them to build like some type of barrier or a fence. So we asked them to give us the property line from ours and theirs. And you can see that this blue thing is pretty accurate. So if we walk over there, you can see that they put a pole on this side right here.
So they're going to put a fence?
We haven't talked about it, but yeah. You can see right here.
Oh.
They put the stick right there, so it's very accurate.
Got it.
So from the trash can, you remember where you parked? This is still our property line, but you see the railroad tracks, the intersection between the road and that's all ours.
Oh, all the way down there?
All the way down there, from here to there, and then it goes this way. And then I'll show you what the front looks like.
This is a lot, Emmanuel.
It's a lot.
It's going to be a lot of work.
It is a lot. It's a lot of work, Roxy. It's a lot of work.
Lord Jesus.
It is.
I'm tired.
I know, right? Yeah.
Woo. Okay. Hey.
This is exploration. We didn't know any of this. The previous owners didn't really show us much other than what we were able to see. So
Man, I tell you, just feed us and we'll be out here for the weekend. I promise you, we'll come help for real.
area I wanted to kind of use for like a camp area.
That would be nice.
That's why I was starting to come cut and clear and all that stuff.
Why so far from the house?
because I want it to feel like you're in nature.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
when there's you know, the stuff that we're used to,
Yeah.
you kind of, it doesn't feel authentic.
Right.
So when you remove yourself from that, you just feel more in touch with nature. You start hearing the birds here.
Yeah.
You don't notice that stuff when you're
Right.
in the house and the noise and all that stuff.
Right. So I have a question, Emmanuel.
Yes.
Right? Because let me turn this around so we can. So you know, I've told your story to many people, right? You and your wife's story, because I'm just so proud of you. And because I'm saying as two black people, I consider you black, right? You guys have done something that I think so many of us should be doing, right? Because back in the day, we owned land, we owned stuff, but nowadays people make it seem like it's so far-fetched, right? What prompted you guys to make the move? That's my first question.
The reason was because we wanted to be self-sufficient.
Okay.
That was the biggest thing. We noticed that we were so attached to the grid, and we were losing all those skills that we had back then that we don't have now, because we're in an office. We're doing stuff that we're pretty much doing online stuff. A lot of it is online. We don't use our hands anymore. So this gave us an opportunity to tap into what our ancestors did.
Right.
Also, the biggest thing was self-sufficiency, and we noticed that with COVID, you were stuck at home, but this gave us an opportunity to be outside of the house. And it also gave us an opportunity, because COVID is something that is infectious, and this kind of secluded us, but at the same time, it protected us, you know, from that part of the world. So.
All right. So how difficult was it? Because I've been to your home before you guys moved out of the city. It was like what, between 22,000 to 2,100?
Yes, 2,100 square feet, 7 people.
What was it like moving from that to the cottage that you guys live in, which is just a fraction? So you moved 7 people plus animals.
It's
what
about
was that like?
400 square feet, and then with the lofts, it's probably about 600 square feet. So
how was that transition?
The transition was difficult. It was difficult because we wanted to squeeze everything we had into such a small space.
Even for you, the adults, and not just the kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I would say that once we eliminated a lot of the stuff that we couldn't put in there, or we didn't necessarily need, we wanted it, but we noticed that we're starting to become more minimalistic.
Okay.
We're starting to see the stuff that we don't really need, and it's more of a want. So you can say we could say that a lot of the stuff that and we grow accustomed in the city. We want the dream is we want more. We want
live in
bigger.
excess.
Yes.
Right.
But now what we did was we shrunk our living space, and we're trying to take advantage of the outdoor.
Okay.
So our outdoor is pretty much what we're trying to adapt to. It's such a big space, so why not take advantage of that? So living in a 600 square foot space is all we need. You know, because it's sleep, we could prepare food and all that stuff, shower and all that. But outside is where the fun really happens. We're so stuck on TV, we're stuck on everything that, you know, direct TV, gaming,
and our kids
streaming.
And it's terrible.
Yes. And you could see that the kids suffered a lot because they're just always indoor. I mean, yes, we had the kids playing outside on their bikes, but when you see a kid grabbing a stick and creating an imagination and doing stuff with that stick, and they're having so much fun with each other, sword fights and all that stuff, it's just it brings you back to a time where it was just, life was simple. You didn't need a toy to entertain you.
Right.
Rocks and sticks were enough.
So I know your wife was more about the country life, right? And she convinced you.
Yeah.
Did she have to twist your arms and know that you're here? Can you see yourself going back into the city?
No, I cannot see myself going back to the city because it really allows you to you don't get that noise. The city is so noisy. Even if when you step outside your house right now, right? You can hear all the cars passing by.
There's a train right there.
There's a train right. I have a train too,
Yep.
but that's really all I hear. And you hear one coming right now. But other than that, I cannot see myself. Yeah, I cannot see myself going back into the city ever.
Santi, you have to she convinced you, because I know she said she had wanted to do it for years.
Yes, yeah. And I could say that she wanted to do it maybe 3 years before I said yes.
Okay.
The reason I said that I wanted to make that transition is because, number one, COVID. That we were being restricted, and this allowed us to be free without and moving in such. It's a big space, so it allowed us to move around and do whatever we want on our property. We had privacy, and nobody telling us, okay, we can't do this, we can't do that.
Right. No HOA.
No HOA.
Jesus.
No HOA. And that's one thing before buying property, you want to see what restrictions you have on that property, how many buildings you can put on, and flood zones, stuff like that. So right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what is the overall vision for the 15 acres? Do you guys plan to utilize all of it? And if so, what are you planning on putting on it?
So we want to use half of it for planting and all that stuff, and then the other half for living quarters.
Okay.
Eventually, what we want to do, and this is something that we've discussed, but it's not official yet. But what we want to do is we want to create a space for other people to come live for a time, even if it's just to see. Okay, I want to live in the country. I want to live in the country, but I don't have anybody. I don't know anybody, because I can't walk off to one of the, like, coming from the city and say, oh, can I live on your land?
Right.
You know, it's so it's not really. They already have something there for them to grow stuff, but but it doesn't give you an opportunity to live there. So that's what we want to do. We want to create an opportunity for people to actually live and experience it before they go out and do country living.
It's like a practice run.
Yes.
So would you consider, because tiny house is the new wave right now.
Yes.
And people are searching for land to park. Would you consider doing that and have somebody pay you monthly, and that would help you with some of your costs?
Yes, definitely. Faye has talked about RV and like an RV park. So nothing to what we've seen.
No.
What you normally see, but maybe like 5 or 6 spaces where people can park their RV. It would have septic and electricity and all that stuff.
I think you guys should.
Yeah.
I think you guys should.
Yeah, that's something that we're looking at, especially in the front area. That's what we're seeing. It's easily accessible. So sometimes we want all the things that we're used to in the city, and the whole purpose of moving to the country is to disconnect from that. We also notice that connecting with God. We notice that in nature, especially from the beginning, if we believe in the creation, which I believe in the creation, God placed Adam and Eve in the garden, and that's where they were. That's where they communicated with him and spent time with him. And when you look at the city, all we have is 4 walls pretty much. And you have this small little backyard, depending on how big it is. And then your neighbor can see everything that you're doing. I mean, I noticed when we were preparing ourselves before we came into the country, we were building stuff. And every time I would go to the store and buy stuff, bring wood, they're like, "What are you doing over there, Emmanuel?" And over here, my neighbors are so far away that they cannot see what I'm doing. So it's a privacy thing as well. It gives it's they're far enough, but they're still close, for an emergency. But it's still you still see, you have those things that here in the country that you don't have in the city. So that's something that I really, really enjoy. Like my wife being able to step outside without having to worry about somebody seeing her or just bugging her. Right. That's something that she's enjoyed as well.
Right. So I know for a lot of folks that look like us,
Uh-huh.
we seem to think that it's just not attainable for us, right?
Yeah.
We seem to think that everything is reserved for the white man. Some things are,
Yeah.
right? Let's be
Yeah.
honest, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
What can you do to try to convince them to say, go for it, or you can, or you are deserving of, right? Because you guys came and you bought 15 acres. I mean, most of us, we don't need this much, right? Because
Yes,
you
yes.
guys have specific plans for it. Talk to the person who has the want to do it but has doubt because
Yes.
they think because I am black, the bank won't give me the loan or whatever.
Yes.
What do you have to say to those people?
So for those if that have to deal with it being financial, like you said, the bank not loaning, there are 1,000 ways that God can provide for us that we know nothing of. A lot of times we're so focused on one way. A lot of the times, especially in the American dream, we believe that it's through the bank system and all that, but that's us relying on the government or what we're used to. When we put our 100% trust in God, not 50, not 70%, not 75, but 100%, God opens doors that we have never seen. And for us, it's the situation was like that. I mean, we owned a home, and that gave us an opportunity for us to sell the home and buy this. But at the same time, we were still there were still a lot of barriers, you could say, or what roadblocks. But a lot of times we look at a situation as a roadblock, but if we look at it in God's eyes, it might be a speed bump, you know. And it can happen. It can happen. It's just you have to have faith, the desire, and if you're married, that you guys are both, you guys talk about it and have that same vision, plan it out. One thing I do encourage before moving out into the country, do something that you would do in the country. A lot of people want to move out here and they don't have the skills. They don't know how to plant something. They don't know how to keep something alive. Right. So if you could do that in your backyard or in an apartment, you have a balcony, you can use pots to grow stuff. So if you start like that, it gives you the confidence so that when you're out here, you say, okay, I already know how to do that. It's just now doing it out here. But a lot of people, they say, okay, let me get out there, and they don't know anything. They don't know how to chop wood. They don't know how to build anything. But the internet has so much. YouTube has changed what something my dad had to go get somebody to do, or he had to read a manual. Now we have so many people putting information out there with videos, how to fix a car, how to change the brakes, how to do all these things. And a lot of people, they still limit themselves. I know I limit myself sometimes too, but YouTube has a lot of that stuff, that knowledge.
Hire her.
Yeah.
Put her in, Captain. Put her in. She watch YouTube. You should see the things she has done in her house. It's amazing.
Yes.
Just by watching videos, as you just said.
Yes.
People think they're not capable.
Yes.
It's just because they haven't tried.
Exactly.
How do you know? You know, and you never know what you might be into unless you actually do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm super proud. And then the cabin, you guys, it has come a long way. And I know you guys learned a lot of new skills by actually doing it, because you didn't have these things prior to.
No, we didn't. Yeah. You know, you see, and I talked to you earlier about it. We see a lot of these shows. They show you like the before and after, and they'll show you like little glimpse of it. And it is hard. It's hard work. But when you see the results of it, it pays off. It feels good. One of the things I tell my wife is, you know, when she's complaining, remember day one when this was just a shell, and we didn't have a shower, or we didn't have a kitchen sink, or we didn't have certain things that we're used to with the houses that they already come built, you know. So we just remind each other day one, because now we're on our going on our second year, and you can see the transformation. And you not only see the transformation in the house, but you see the transformation in our family as well. We are closer as a family. Yeah, we still fight. We still do all the normal things that families do, but we get to enjoy nature, especially. I mean, something that you would have to go to like a national park or to a park, just a regular park. We experience that every day as soon as we walk out our cabin. So it's something that you mentioned, the freshness of the air. It feels so crispy. And that's something that I always desired, because when I went to like Yosemite National Park, when you first go outside, you get out of your car and you just feel the freshness of it. I'm like, I wish I could wake up to something like this every day. So
when you do it,
we could do it. When you do it, it feels good, man. It feels good. So, and you can feel the air, like the air is different from the city to here.
The sky even looks different.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sure at night, do you guys have a lot of stars out here?
A lot of stars.
We don't have that in the city.
It's and you can see that it's a lot brighter, even though it's dark. It's dark, but when you look up in the sky, especially on a clear day, you can see the stars so much more.
Man,
so much more nicer. So.
Adopt me, please.
Me
and my whole family.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna head back now.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Manuel.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Something over here, a little bit further away from the train.
Something like what?
A house.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the train, we've done everything possible to block the sound, which you don't really hear it as much in the house. I mean, when you're outside, you could hear it, and it's hard to talk. But when you're in the house, the windows, they help a lot. They do help a lot.
Okay. So you changed all the windows when you got here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just finished changing out the last window maybe about a month ago.
Okay.
And but that was because I needed help. It was on the research for your property, like on the inside. You got to make sure that there's no restrictions, because I had a friend that he purchased land, 7 acres, but he's only allowed to put 5 buildings on the property. Wow. So you have to make sure that and that's what my wife's really good at, is researching, talking to to realtors, to just different people, and that's how we've learned. Look at being a property owner in the city versus here. Like, yes, you don't really think about it, but over here I got to cover every single pipe. I gotta make sure everything is okay for like a freeze, versus out there you just covering like the spigot for your hose. So it's a different beast, Everything has its positive and negatives, but the one thing to look at it is like, and this is one thing we tend to not do. We come into problems and we don't resolve it a lot of times. But when you start doing stuff like this, you're like, I have to find a solution for this. It's more of an inconvenience, but a lot of times you could live with like some of the things that you have. But when you're married and you have kids, sometimes their needs are more important than what you think. So something that like, okay, a shower handle like me, if I don't fix it right away, but I could use the pliers, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But the kids are like, Dad, I can't turn on the water, So it's like, you gotta problem solve. Yeah. And that's sometimes we forget that, especially in the city too,
Sure do.
We kind of like push it to the side, and we're like, I don't want to fix this.
Well, that's what I was thinking when you were saying, like, you can be lazy sometimes, but when you own property, you can't. And when you think about our ancestors, like, they had to,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it was always something
going,
to do,
yeah.
you know? So it's like, it's that extra push, whereas in the city or the suburbs, you can just say, oh, I'm just call somebody to
Oh, yeah.
do
Oh, yeah.
this, you
Yes.
know? Like,
Yes.
And a lot
Yes.
of times because you're so far out that somebody might take a while to get
Yes.
here when
Oh,
you could
yeah.
have gotten it done
You
yourself.
could have did it,
you know?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And it pushes you. Sometimes you want to be lazy, and I think the city has really made that happen for us to be lazy, to depend on other people. And yes, it's important to depend on people, but when you can do it, and you have, like, the internet is something that, you know, our ancestors didn't have, so we have an advantage to a degree. You know, we can learn something in minutes where they had to go and do something that took hours or months. So
Figure it out.
figure it out, you know? Yeah, so it's a blessing. So it's a blessing and a curse.
I have neighbors, but your neighbors are far, and for kids, they need that social interaction.
Yes.
Right? I think
Yes.
so. So how are they coping? How have they adjusted?
So the first year we did homeschool,
Okay.
and I loved it. The only problem is it doesn't allow us to be able to work on the property in their absence, because they're always with us.
Right.
And sometimes I do need my wife's help to do certain things. So we did put them in the public school in the country. That's how they socialize a lot right now. Another thing we do on the weekends is we're very active in church. A lot of their friends that they hang out are from church, and people that we meet, friends of friends, or friends that I've had prior to moving out here. So they socialize a lot.
Yes,
I
I
know.
do. So we're
iPhone is
gonna
a lot
leave
better.
now. Say your last names again for me.
The Villanueva
That.
family.
So we're leaving their house to spend the entire day with them, and it was such a joy. We'll definitely be coming back, and when we come back, that's where we'll be sleeping. Let me show you.
Yes.
We'll be sleeping in that. Me and my little family. And I'm so excited. I can't wait. No, we didn't go inside. Yeah, let's see it.
But don't show it on the camera.
Oh no.
Because it has a whole bunch of food and stuff in there right now.
No, it's okay. No. I got you.
Telling
So
our
that's-
business, y'all.
So that's it right there. That's what we'll be sleeping in when we come, and I'm
Get
excited.
the hell out of
We
here.
is leaving. Thank you guys for hosting us. It was so much fun.
Anytime.
And that's boss lady right there. She little, but she pack a punch, boy. Come. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you. Look at
yes,
both of them.
yes.
Hugging and saying goodbye and stuff. Come, Emmanuel, bring it in.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate it. We had a very good day, baby. Enjoyed yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, we really did, and we can't wait to come back and sleep in the little, what do you call it? The little van. So Kemar are going to come back and help trifling. Kemar are going to come back and help Emmanuel chop down trees and make firewood and all this kind of thing, because they really need some help. It's 15 acres. It's a lot of work, and he did most of it himself. Well, him and her. So we're going to come back and help out. So off we go. So we have an hour and 30 minutes drive before we get home. Little Missy is right there. She had a good time. They have 5 kids. So she was excited because she loved kids. Every time she see them, she'd get all excited. Like, I want to play. I'm like, first of all, calm down. So yeah, off we go. We had an amazing time, and we were actually a little bit bummed that we had to leave, but we had to get back to the city and get back to our regular lives. One of the things that made the hour and a half drive not so bad was the scenery. Man, the GPS took us the scenic route, and it was nothing but land and green and ponds, and it was just so relaxing and just pretty to look at. So we will definitely be back, so stay tuned for that. Take care, and remember to walk good and take care of yourselves and each other. Yeah, baby girl is here keeping me company. Later.